Okay, I'm going to start now. Hi, Kelly.
Hello, Kylie. How are you?
Very good. Thank you so much. I know, right? Because we have similar names. Okay, so thanks for joining us on Heartbeats today. And I will be asking you 5 questions on your story in hospitality. Okay?
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so the first question, let's go. What do you do? And how long have you worked in hospitality?
Okay, so I sort of like I've been managing a few bars for a few years. So one cocktail bar and one sort of like restaurant bar. And I also work in a spirits distribution company. I just do a little bit of like helping people choose whiskeys that they like, that kind of thing. But I'm sort of moving more towards into like a overseeing position, and I'm also like creating like a better hospitality program for the group that I work in. I've been working in this line. I think I'm not exactly sure, but I think since I was 18, so it's around 10 years. Yeah, around 10 years.
About 10 years. Okay.
About, yeah.
And what drew you into hospitality in the first place?
I was actually, it started off as like a part-time job while I was in art school because I wanted to be a painter when I was younger. So I was in school to like learn like art history and painting and that stuff. And then I sort of like realized I enjoyed it a lot more than what I was doing in school. And I you know, painting for me, right, was something that like I love to do. It was like I was naturally good at since I was young, but it doesn't mean that it translates into what I wanted to do as a job. And I wish I knew that earlier, but I was like 16 when I went to school, so I don't think I really knew what I wanted to do in life yet. And so I sort of just stumbled upon like working in a bar, and then I had this period where like I was part-timing the whole time I was in school, and then I had this like little period where I was just trying to figure shit out. So I just got like a full-time job at a bar, and I have been there since then. So I've been in the same company since for like, I don't know, 8 years now. So yeah,
Okay.
it just sort of happened, and then I really enjoyed it.
Sounds great. Can I ask you a question? Because you went to art school, right? And you said like you wish you knew that you had chosen a career path, like you knew what you wanted to do for your career. Do you think it would have made a difference if you went to hospitality school? Do you think it would have made any difference at all?
I guess like hospitality programs are very much like more towards hotels, not really restaurants and bars. So I don't think I would ever have done hospitality. Like I did think about it, but all curriculum is very much about hotels. So maybe I would have enjoyed something in like culinary more, but definitely not hospitality in school. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Restaurants and bars, right? Like hospitality encompasses so much of things.
I
It's
mean,
not
like,
just
why not have a restaurant service school, right? That would be fantastic.
yeah, like restaurant or bar, like that would really interest me, I feel. But like it's just that it wouldn't have much application to, I mean, there are overlaps for sure, but it's just really more focused on hotels.
Kelly, I foresee that you have a project on your hands soon. You can start an academy.
In
Why
10 years.
not? Why not, right? Okay. Okay, so I know bars are like really interesting places. I mean, I go to bars and I always have a lot of interesting experiences. So you as you're working in the bars for the like last 8 years, I'm sure you have a lot of memorable nights, whether or not good or bad, you know. But can you share one story with us that you find maybe it's the most memorable for you?
I think the one that will pop into my mind would definitely be more recent things, because like I can't remember so much of even good things is very hard to remember sometimes. But I think it was sometime last year. It was at our cocktail bar, small place. It's 20-seater, so it's like super like customer focused. It's very like not really everyone, no matter where you sit in the bar, you can overhear what everyone is saying. That's how small it is. So it really encourages interaction. So we had this group of like the US Navy people who were in Singapore for a few days. So they came to the bar and they were sitting at the bar, and like we started talking, and it was me and my other bartender and Malcolm. And so we ended up having like the best conversation with them. And they were like so excited about trying everything that we had. And they then called like the rest of the crew from the ship, and they called their captain, and everyone came by, and we opened way like later than we should, but it was a very, very nice night. And at the end of the night, because they had so much of fun, and like I think we really went like out of our way for them, the captain from the ship actually gave me a commander's coin. So the commander's coin is what you give to like the crew when they have like exceptional service. And so it was like, I think like we were just really touched by that, because like it I guess when like in like the military, they don't give things like that lightly, and so you know that someone truly like appreciated what you were doing. And I think that some like it doesn't always like come across, like even when you go out of your way, sometimes people don't always recognize it. And it's not that you do it for recognition, but it's nice when there is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be probably one of my most memorable. And so we have it actually framed and kept on one of the shelves in the bar.
That is a really, really high honor. Like
Yeah,
it's
also
an
like
honor,
touched.
so beautiful, huh? Okay, well,
Yeah, I
do
think
you
there's
have
a
how many people are there in your bar then? I mean, including the captain and the crew and stuff, about
oh,
20.
at that point, how many people were there?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't, I, uh,
Oh,
15, 15 or so.
okay, okay.
A lot of them. And they were like, I remember they were quite excited about some of the bottles that we have, because it's not stuff you can see everywhere.
Yeah,
And comes from like really small cities all over the US, right? And so
right.
um, I guess the more obscure ones, like some whiskey from Missouri, and then one of them was like, oh my God, that's my hometown. And like, I can't believe you have it here. So there's so much of that, like just
Yeah.
nice like, familiarity and fun and many drinks.
And it's great because you're very knowledgeable with your products. You're extremely
I'll
knowledgeable with your
try.
products. So,
Sometimes
and,
I
and
forget, but I'll try.
because I've been to your bar, I know that, it's like a whole wall of liquor and you
Yeah,
have to climb and get the liquors as well. So,
yeah.
yeah,
To
okay,
remember
cool.
by a story, to remember everything. But sometimes it goes out, but it's all somewhere.
So you actually remember them by telling a story to yourself? Is that how you remember all the?
We remember the distilleries by stories. So how
Mm,
they start, who runs them, why they are doing what they're doing. It makes it easier than trying to just remember ingredients. Because
yeah,
yeah, otherwise I would never be able to retain any of the
yeah,
knowledge. Yeah.
that's great. Okay. Yeah. Oh, now I want to go to a bar. Okay. Now that's a great story to share. But since you have been working for almost a decade now, are there any elements of hospitality that you would like to keep? Since you started, and maybe one thing that you would feel that we need to change in the future.
Mm, I think the one thing I would keep is that um like the care and attention that you give to people. I
Mhm.
feel like that's something that cannot go away, because like at the end of the day, when someone comes to like a restaurant or bar, it's of course there is the like, yes, you want to have a good product, or your food has to be good, your drinks has to be good, but also at the end of the day, what everyone wants is to be taken care of, and they want to know that they have your attention when you're there. So I think care and attention like something that I hope will like always like, remain.
Mhm.
And something that I hope changes is that um I feel like now it's not very, it's hard to put into a coherent sentence, but like I feel like a lot of times like in it can like the human touch of like service is lost. And I hope that that is something that can sort of come back, because like there's actually this bar book that I read, right, which is one of the most like best books I've ever read. It's called The Joy of Mixology by Gary Regan. And one thing he talks about is he actually has this very popular like open letter to bartenders, which if you haven't read, I really think you should read. It's wonderful. And he talks about how like being a bartender it's a lot more about feeling. It's about how you make another person feel, and and then he says that it's really nice line about how you can change the world by making one person's day, something like that. And so I feel like that part of it needs to come back, where it's not so much about it is about the product, but also about the human factor and all the feelings that are involved in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually do believe that, that one drink can change a person's day and
So one cocktail at a time.
yes, one cocktail at a time can always change my day. Yes, but
One person's
also I
day, then
believe,
slowly it has that um like a domino effect, right? When you are happy, you want to make another person happy.
yeah,
And I feel like it's also very idealistic, but why not, right?
Okay, well, idealistic is one thing, but okay, this whole entire podcast that we're doing is kind of on an idealistic platform. But for me, the reason why we are here is because we believe that with one kind act that we can also change something and hopefully have the domino effect as well, right? So
Yeah, I
yeah.
really believe it. So that's what I always tell the staff also. Like our most important task is like no matter what goes wrong in service, make sure the person leaves happy. Even if you need to do something like outrageous to make them happy, you just do it
Mhm,
because that's like the important part about how someone like comes in and how they leave. Because things always go wrong, right? But we can fix it. We can make a person happy,
exactly.
and yeah, and then that's the important thing.
Mhm. I completely agree. Well, that's great. Yeah, we
Right?
definitely need
Not
to.
somewhere on my ceiling.
We definitely need to bring back the human touch into this business. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. And my favorite question of all questions, it's what is your one word core value that you live every day?
this is hard. I wish I wish I thought. Okay, I don't know if this will come under the category of a core value, but I think one thing that's important to me that I don't it's the most important thing to me at work is that I feel fulfilled and that what you're doing like makes you feel fulfillment. And um if you don't have that, then I think it's very difficult to execute this kind of task, like this kind of job, just because it's very like once you're at work, you whatever is in your mind, it has to be put aside,
Mhm,
and you have to be it's kind of like you're playing a role, but it's still real.
mhm,
So even if you're having like a really like crappy day, when you go to work, all that has to be put aside, and you need to be on the ball all the time. There's no like hiding behind an office or a desk, like you are the face.
mhm,
And so I feel like if you love what you do and if there's fulfillment, then that becomes easier to do. But if you don't, then I don't know how you would be able to then do
mhm,
your job well if you don't feel fulfilled.
mhm,
So I'm happy that like until now, like that's something I really do strongly feel. Like every time I go to work, it makes me feel happy, it makes me feel very fulfilled. And I guess I've been in the same company for so long because like I've constantly felt fulfillment in what I'm doing. And I think I'm so lucky that I like really have a good relationship with my bosses. We're super like in line with what we are doing, and I think they have the same feelings that I do about service, about hospitality, and about what they want in the company. So it's made like I guess my life and my work life very fulfilling, and I hope that it stays that way. And that's something I would look for in the future lah. Like if wherever I go to next,
mhm.
yeah.
Kelly, can I ask you for a tip from an expert point of view? Okay, because to feel fulfilled every day is something that I would say not everybody can feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, what is your perk me up tip? Like, how do you perk yourself up to maybe start your shift or start your day in a very fulfilled way?
I think like first thing you need to accept that not every day is going to be great. You're not going to feel fulfilled every single day. That's definitely not going to happen for anyone. And I think you need to be okay with that and having that expectation. You need to set your expectation that some days are going to be great, some days are going to be not great, but it doesn't matter if you don't feel fulfilled every day. I feel like as long as big picture you're good, then but one thing that really helps me is, I know this might sound very like I don't know. Yeah, I meditate. So
Okay.
I feel like meditation really helps me, and it puts me in like I try to meditate a little bit every morning. I don't always like do it even if it's like 10-15 minutes, right? But it's something I try to do, and I notice a very big change in myself when I do it, because I think it puts you in like a headspace to start the day well.
Mhm,
And like that always helps me, like when you start the day in like there's a particular meditation, guided meditation sort of podcast that I really like, which is about like self-awareness and about empathy. And
mhm.
so
Oh,
I really like listening to those in the morning because it sets you off in a day where like you you feel good, you feel like you want to be good, you want to be the best version of yourself, and that you want to understand people, and that you don't want to get angry over silly things. And yeah, that's been really helpful, especially if like I feel like I'm having a hard time at work. I think then meditation really helps me, but I don't think it's for everyone.
you know what? Can you send that link to me so that I can share it with the audience as well? Because you never know, maybe somebody in our audience would actually like to try something like that. It may not be for everybody, but someone might want to try it, right? So
Yeah,
why
yeah,
not share it with them? Because I think,
yeah.
it's so important to have self-awareness and empathy in our business.
Yeah.
It's
So
the
it's
two.
basically like guided meditation that I like to listen to, because if I don't have like guided meditation, it's very difficult
No
for me to
wonder.
focus. My mind will wander. So guided meditation
Completely
really
understand.
works for me. So I feel like maybe in future I'll reach the level where I can like meditate without someone telling me to stay focused, but not yet.
And
Coming soon.
your self-awareness as well. So yeah, you're on the road. You're on the path.
Yeah, I still need to be a little bit better with it, but I think I'm getting there.
Okay. Well,
I'll
thanks
tell you,
so much for the tip. That's an amazing tip.
do you meditate?
I well, you see, I think in the last 3 months I meditated almost every day until the last few weeks. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of have stopped, so I'm not very consistent with meditation. But whenever I feel stressed out, or whenever I feel like I need to find my center, I do meditate as well. But I
Hmm.
also need guided meditation.
Yeah, but you're right. It's not easy to have it like constant, and I think it's like you need to have that commitment
Yeah.
to yourself, and like even when you're having a good day, you should still meditate, not
Yeah,
just when you're having a
yeah,
good day.
exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah, I think I
agree.
was a bit more committed with that.
Yeah, what I used to do is I used to set an alarm. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a 7, 8, 9 routine where 7 I wake up, and then between 7 to 8 I will meditate. 8 o'clock I'll do some workout, and then 9 o'clock I'll have breakfast. So like I have a 7, 8, 9 thing where there's a schedule for the first 2 hours of my day. Yeah, that worked out very well. I wonder where I broke off. Yeah. Hmm. But yeah, that's great actually. So yes, I please share the link with us, and then we will all be like Zen when we are working as well.
Then more often. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
just not doing it all, but sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, Kelly, that's our 5 questions, and I hope you enjoyed this session and this little chat. I'm really very happy to see you after such a long time as well, and thank you very much for joining us at Heartbeat.
Thank you, Kylie.
Thank you.